in 2.5 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. I'm going to mute you there for a few minutes there, RW. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sometimes get uptight when reading all those faith-based books all claim to get it right. In volumes of religious texts which have their own agenda, there lies a silver thread of truth mixed in with propaganda. Be careful what you say to those with whom you'll be at odds, who've taken on the dogma in the pantheon of gods.
Doesn't matter if you're Christian or if Islam or Hindu, your horizons need to open to a universal view. The dynamics of change in an endless cosmic sea all need to be a part of your mind's reality. There's been more than one intrusion when you finally check the odds of rules and competition in the pantheon of gods.
Aztec gods, Celtic gods, gods of ancient Sumer. All of them existed, and it's not just myth or rumor. Greek gods, Hindu gods, all gods in relief. Weave a magic tapestry of spiritual belief. All of them have been here, part of spiritual decorum. And all of them are aspects of a complex cosmic forum.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you.
You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
That is me. Tonight is a two-guest show. Our first guest that we're talking to now is R.W., who died more times than the ever-ready battery you could ever think of. And then at the top of the hour, we're going to have Sam Ritchie talking about little people, portals, and Bigfoot, and other little creatures that live out in the woods in Washington State. R.W., are you still there?
I am.
And James, are you still there?
I am, and I was just thinking, this is scary kind of Friday, and we're getting close to Halloween. I got a little question for Mr. R.W. there. In all your times that you've passed on or came back or was near death, have you ever came across like a Grim Reaper or the Angel of Death or any kind of dark figure in your travels on the other side?
Or demons?
Right.
No. No, actually, James, it's, and you know, there's mythology about that too, but no, there was no angel of death. It was, and I would love to be able to spice the story up about that, but no, there was no angel of death. I did have an angel, and I can tell you certainly whether the listeners believe this or not, but there was an angel by my side on April Fool's Day when I died the last time that I died, and that's when they took the PICC line out, and there was an air bubble in it. And went directly to my heart, and I stopped breathing. And I had like 21 crash doctors all working on me at the same time to try to revive me. And there was this blonde-haired nurse who had piercing blue eyes, who was to the left of me, and she was telling me she said, just relax and let them do what they need to do. You're going to be fine. And she reassured me. And so I did. I mean, I could feel them drilling into my bone marrow, trying to get a direct.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know. So, but, and I could feel them going into my groin and, you know, doing that number. And they were putting the tubes down my throat. And I could feel everything, but because she said, just relax and let them do what they need to do, you're going to be fine. And I was. I revived. To the doctor's astonishment. They really didn't. I mean, the nurse came in there and he apologized for pulling the PICC line out and all this. And I didn't have nothing to forgive him for. He was doing his job. It was just a faulty PICC line. But, I would love to be able to, spice that story up, but I can't, because the angel that was with me, she was very pleasant and very soothing. Nothing of the, the whole Grim Reaper look. I can tell you, though, that there are, other stories that are opposite of mine. People who took the tunnel and they ended up in a different place, where I went.
Well, I got to ask you a question, R.W. Okay,
Sure.
When you went to the tunnel, did you see a light or was it dark?
No, it was, there was total darkness all around me at first, and it was like my body or my spirit or soul, whatever, was on autopilot, and I was just being guided directly to this small opening that opened up all the way around me, and I went through the tunnel, and it was like swirly inside, and I felt like I was on a conveyor belt of some sort, just moving forward. And as I did, I saw a light at the end that I was being guided towards. As I got towards the end, I saw my grandfather, the silhouette of my grandfather at first, and then I saw him clearly, and he had passed on a few years prior.
Now, I got to ask you again. I got to ask you questions when you bring this up. You saw your grandfather, but was he old, like you remember him, or was he at a younger state?
He was at a younger state. I mean, I still knew it was him. He was probably, when he passed, he was 72. And when I saw him in that vision, or whatever you want to call it, he appeared to be in his, I would say, late 30s, early 40s.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he was very spry. He didn't have no signs of rheumatoid arthritis that he had when he was here. None of those things that had impaired him while he was here in the physical state. So, but I still knew who he was. And, and when I was on your show last time, you had asked me, did I see anything and I think, James, you had brought it up, was time the same as it was here? No, it wasn't. When I was there on the other side, a few times that I went over, and it felt like I was there for years. It really did. I was visiting people and seeing different things that, I know we don't have time allotment for me to be able to go into all that, but that's really what inspired all of the, times that I've died, especially at Moffat, inspired The Gift of Curse, was about a man who cannot taste of death, and he's an immortal, and he just, he longs for death because he's tired of seeing the people that he knows in each lifetime, they pass away, but he doesn't. So, so you draw from the things that happen to you.
Interesting. Wouldn't that be horrible though, if you could live forever?
Yeah, I have thought about that actual, concept, and it really would be horrible, because since I've came back, two of the people that came to say goodbye to me at Moffat have passed on, and they were very close to me, my grandmother and my aunt. And they were very close to me. And I remember my aunt saying to me, "This is not the way it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to go before you." Well, she did. I mean, technically I did, but I came back. But, my family gave me a nickname called Timex. They said I took a licking and kept on ticking. And I know it still sounds funny, but, it's, I don't know. Moffat came up with their own rationale on that, was that I have a gene mutation that my body heals very quickly. I'm one of I think it's 160-something thousand people that are born without an appendage, and I was born without an appendix. And so I have no appendix. It was never taken out. It was never there. And so the doctors, they created this theory that because of this gene mutation that I have is what allows my body to completely shut down and then revive.
So it reboots itself. Interesting. But,
sort of like a computer.
Yeah, but, I just was thinking about if a person could live forever, like a couple of the shows that have been on TV and in the movies in the past, could you imagine you fall in love and you notice something's wrong when your wife is aging? And you look in the mirror and you're not, and then your wife one day is middle-aged and you're still looking like you're in your 20s, and then your kids are starting to age, and and then you have to leave because you can't stay there because you don't feel comfortable, and you go on another life like that and you fall in love again, and the same thing goes on and on and on. It would be horrible to live forever. James, what do you think about that?
Oh, I absolutely agree. The emotional wear and tear and stress of every generation of a lifetime, losing somebody you're madly in love with or family members, you'd have to start over every time. You pretty much would have to change your location and name because, people would catch on. I got a question for you too, R.W. You've passed on 6 times and come back, and you've seen your grandfather there that one time. Have you seen him or any of your relatives every time? And the 6th time, did they say, "Hey, you got to quit beating like this? It's not your time yet." How does that work? You know what I mean? After you've had to see him more than once when you've passed over, I would imagine.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I saw one of the times that I passed at Moffett. I think I died a total of 4 or 5 times there. But two of the times that I passed, I saw 2 of my uncles that had already passed. I saw, and the odd thing about that is because I think you asked this the last time you spoke about this, time is not the same there as it is here. And I saw people that were alive here, but had already in that realm, had already passed on over there.
Oh,
they were
wow.
already there. And so when I came back, it would be shortly after that, within just a couple of years or whatever, they passed.
Uh-oh. Now you're scaring me, R.W. In other words, I could be already in heaven or hell and not know it yet.
Well, I don't think you're going to the hell part. But
how about in between? I have to have some excitement after life. Just make me go in between.
Spice it up a little bit. But no, it's I don't believe in time that we have here in existence here, and that's one of the reasons why I love your show so much, is because you have different people on there about different things about time loops and if people, more listeners, like you said, a big shout out to the truckers who listen because they are a huge part of your audience. But they don't understand that your show encompasses so much beyond. I feel like I'm mediocre compared to some of the people that come on your show, and with the Bigfoot sightings, the Mothman sightings, and things like that. It's astounding to me that you don't have more radio stations wanting to bring your show on.
Well, I did. James, weren't we up over 30, close like 37 before I had my falls?
Yeah, that was right around 37 radio stations, and I think where we at now, 22, and they're still
we're 22.
Fall, right?
Yeah, I lost virtually all but one radio station, after being off for a while. They have to fill in, so I was off for almost a month and a half technically.
I remember. Yes, I remember. And James has done a good job of keeping the coals going. He's quite the man there for you, as far as your assistant or whatever title James holds there.
My best friend. How's that?
There you go. And inspiration, because James, thank you very much for doing your process on Mr. Gary there, on keeping him going as far as motivated by his movements. And by the way, did you try out those exercises that I sent you?
I have. I can still only walk with a walker about 10 feet, and then I have to walk back, but I can only do that about once every 3 days because I get really sore, especially with that ligament that's torn in my knee. My knee just swells up.
And right, and some of the things that I sent you, the exercises using your